नमस्कार मंडळी. सृष्टी सर्व गाती पवित्र प्रभूला, वंदू त्या देवाला आता आम्ही. या कवी सुमंत विष्णू करमरकरांच्या पंक्ती असोत किंवा कवी केशव वामन पेठे यांच्या नाम तुझे बहुथोर दयाळा, त्याच्या पायाखाली सारा जलचर भूचर खेचर बसला, या पंक्ती असोत, ज्यामध्ये खेचर म्हणजे पक्षीवर्ग असा अर्थ होतो. परमेश्वराने ही पृथ्वी आणि त्यावरील सर्व काही सांभाळण्याची जबाबदारी मानवावर दिली आहे. या विश्वासाने वरील गीते चर्च उपासनेत मनोभावे गायली जातात. केशव पेठेंच्या काव्यपंक्तीतील खेचर म्हणजे पक्षीवर्ग, बायबल आणि पक्षी वर्गाबद्दलची आपली जबाबदारी याबद्दल आपल्याशी संवाद साधणार आहेत UTC बेंगलोरचे प्राचार्य प्रोफेसर रेव्हरंड डॉक्टर C. वसंतराव. त्यांची ओळख UTC बद्दलच्या मागील व्हिडिओमध्ये मी सविस्तर करून दिलीच आहे. जेव्हा पर्यावरण, पक्षी, बायबल आणि त्याबद्दलचे कायदे हे विषय नव्याने सर्वसामान्यांसमोर येत होते, तेव्हा त्याबद्दल संशोधन करून जगभरातील अनेक विद्यापीठांमधून या संबंधीची पुस्तके प्रोफेसर रेव्हरंड डॉक्टर C. वसंतराव प्रकाशित करीत होते. म्हणजे त्यांना या विषयातील एक जनक असेच म्हटले पाहिजे. आपल्या चॅनलसाठी त्यांनी वेळ देणे हा मी आपल्या चॅनलचा सन्मान समजते. त्यांच्याशी संवाद साधणार आहेत अनुराग जेम्स, अर्थातच इंग्रजीमधून. चला तर ऐकूयात प्रोफेसर रेव्हरंड डॉक्टर C. वसंतराव पक्ष्यांबद्दल आपल्याला काय सांगतात ते.
The development of human race and the industrialization that is coming forth and the technological advancements, how have you seen it affect the bird life?
Oh yeah, development, the name so-called development, technological innovations, and we are so proud about green revolutions, all that. But then on the other hand, many a time they pose a great danger to the bird life. If you talk about development, normally development, big high-rise buildings, become the symbol of development. Nowadays, these high-rise buildings with glass panes, they are posing a great danger to the birds because birds in the night they are migrating and they are dashing to these big structures and then they are dying. So, our human development has become detrimental to the very life of the bird movement, you see, and bird life. Then we talk about agricultural development, and then we use pesticides to grow more food. But then the very insects that live in these agricultural fields become feed for the birds. But when these pesticides are used, and these insects later on that have died because of poison are eaten by birds, they die in turn. Hunting birds, killing birds is another a sport by itself in many rural areas. Children come and then they take a catapult, or in some remote places, some young people have air guns, and it is simply a fascination to kill birds. That has to be banned. I was in Konoma in Ireland. They have banned any killing of any bird by any means. They would be caught and they would be fined. Such measures should come. Water birds, as I said, when there is a lake, there are water birds. Sometimes human beings, lakes also get dried up in a dry season. And what they are doing is to just simply go and build a house. And when the water rains, monsoon comes, and they say our houses are flooded. Actually, it is not their place. It is the place of the water. In turn, it is the place of the habitat of the birds. And fish, of course, another living being. So human tendencies are becoming very detrimental to the very life of birds. Many places, there is a water, you just go and dump anything and everything in that. That can't happen. And the birds are eating those things. And I've seen so many birds without legs. I don't know if we are throwing food and then because of the fungus, bacteria, birds are also getting disease. And we don't go and give any medication to them and they die. So birds, in a very big way, they are doing a big disservice to this part of the creation through our ill-mannered behavior towards them. And many reasons are there. As I said, somewhere I went and they were saying we have a bird meat. How much meat will you get in a bird? This much. For that you kill a bird. And so also so many species are becoming extinct because of that. Earlier days, it was a fascination to have feathers on the caps or hats. I still see some people who they used to kill birds and then for the feather's sake, and then all these should stop. And we have to become conscious of all other life, including bird life, and we have to development. You said it has to be sustainable development. We also should live. Water also should live. Birds also should live. All other wildlife should live. You have to make it in such a way that no creatures are to be made extinct because of our existence. We all have to exist. You live and you have to let live. That psyche model should evolve in the brains of people.
It is unfortunate that such development will happen and human have to do such things to the nature for one's own gain. Seeing such devastation to the bird world and nature in general, how would you suggest people to take action? What action should be taken, and how would you spark interest in people for the protection and development of the nature and birds to be specific?
Yeah, birds and trees go together.
Yeah.
So if you have to protect birds, you also have to protect trees. Because there are certain, like you have told me that at UTC I do that bird watching.
Yeah.
I saw a bird which is a white-cheeked barbet.
Okay.
Okay. Right opposite to the principal's office, it made a hole in a tree. It lay eggs and it also hatched chicks. It's very fascinating. It came from somewhere.
Mhm.
It chose a tree, and opposite to the tree there is another fruit tree.
Oh.
So when the chicks came, it was so easy. It's only about 5 meters. It comes, it plucks fruits, it takes and feeds the chicks all day. And after a few days, the chicks started to explore the outer world, slowly looking at it out. And the mother is doing. Afterwards, the chicks came out, and they just about 5 meters, or if they see the only visible thing right there is the opposite fruit tree. So they started to come, eat, go, eat, go. Then the mother stopped feeding. So they were coming and feeding, and they became a little bigger. They went off. So the choice of a bird, at least in, there's a tree. Where it finds food, that is where it begins to live. And I don't know where it went, but the way it intelligently maneuvered itself, selection of a tree because of another tree, and then sustain themselves, it is beautiful. So sustenance of birds should be primarily sustenance of their habitat. And each bird is, they have connection between trees, and they do pollination. They pollinate, and that's how, trees are becoming healthy, good fruit, all that. So trees are one important, that's where they have their nests. That's their, and at least the grassland birds as well as this one, apart from the water birds, But trees are very important. And stop using pesticides.
Yes.
And start being organic. You start, don't all of a sudden stop it and one by one. But if somebody is having about 2 acres of land, at least 1 acre should be slowly brought into organic, and other one, and then increase it slowly. That is one, and not dump anything and everything anywhere and everywhere. Yeah, because birds are everywhere, and whenever there is something, they come and eat, which is not their food. Also, sometimes they eat which is not their food because it is just lying there, and that is not healthy for them. They need to eat what God has prepared them for eating. So then hunting should be stopped. Bird meat should be banned. Anywhere. These are the measures, and we have to inculcate in children habit of appreciating. In some areas, some people have taken away the catapults and gave small cameras, and they said at the end of the year, the best bird photography child will be awarded. So now they are all running about, instead of killing the birds, they want to showcase their bird photography for a prize. So we can inculcate certain nice habits in children. Each one in their own context will come up with many ideas. Some games are there.
Yeah.
Where when you take out 2 cards, you have to match. It can happen with birds, and I've seen some games like that with birds. We can encourage mimicry artists, who can vocalize bird callings and all. So once we think, we can do a lot. There can be festivals. I went to Nagaland for Hornbill Festival. It's massive. Hornbill, we can even start festivals with each bird that is a local bird. We can take in every region, they can have a bird festival. If where we are Pune, what bird is famous in Pune? We can start a festival. Each state has a bird, and each state can have that bird festival in a year, and so much can happen. All NGOs can come who are working with birds. Children can come from the schools, colleges, and then disseminate information, do some quizzes, we can write songs on birds. You see, I was in Donavur in Tamil Nadu, and Amika Michael, she wrote songs, she wrote poems on birds. You see, once we are into it, we can inculcate this habit in 1,000 ways. So I would suggest each state will start, like Nagaland is doing a bird Hornbill Festival. Maharashtra, what is the national state bird in Maharashtra? We can start that. Telangana, my state, it can start bird festival. That would be wonderful.
It is very clear that you have profound knowledge of the field and have worked with many people and you have worked alone as well.